Okay, so let me do this, guys. I'm going to start with my tips. This way that this is not a complete waste for you. And if we have to reschedule, I'll give you even more tips. Okay, how does that sound? Okay, so the 8 interior designer, I'm going to turn it into 4 because I want Fred to be able to share his own interior design business blunders and how to avoid them. When Fred comes back, we'll do his. Okay, so hi, I'm Nancy Ganzakoffer. I'm your business partner. I have been in the interior design field for 15 years. I have the past, for those who don't know me, I was an executive, first vice president in a bank, managing departments of 150 people. Then I started having children, became a personal fitness trainer, and then had more children and decided to be a stay-at-home mom for a little while my son was sick, and he's fine now. And then I went into the interior design field as an art and accessory designer, art framing and accessories. So that company is called Expressive Living. And I've been in that working with interior designers, supporting them, going into their clients, helping them select on-premise art framing and accessories. So in that forum, my business mind always kicked in, and I watched people work with their clients. And over the years, I've become a little bit of someone they go to when they have a business question or a sales question or a customer question. So a couple of years ago, I decided to actually start coaching, and that's what I do today. And I do it over the internet. I do it live, local. I'm so humbled by the fact that a lot of the local interior designers and the industry partners have come to me for coaching once I hung my shingle as a coach. I love what I do. I'm also the past president of the Interior Design Society, IDS, Long Island chapter, and I'm a national board member. So that's a little bit about me. So now let me get into my first tip, okay? So I have seen over and over again when an interior designer is trying to kind of sell their next idea to the client. And often I watch that flow of the sales conversation, and I always think like I really have to help, right? Because my business blunder is to tell you guys, if you don't understand the flow of how a sales conversation is supposed to go, you really need to learn, right? Because there are times when you're supposed to listen, and there's times when you're supposed to talk, and there are times when you just want to present how you can help someone before you even present your price, right? So you want to do a couple of things, right? So the first thing you want to do is discover, right? Now this is from the first time, or whether you're in their home and they're going, oh, I kind of want this too. Or you've presented, like I can also help you with your winter treatments, or I can help you redesign your family room or your kitchen or your bathroom. And now you start by discovering what they really need, right? You're asking them to talk, and you are just listening. Sometimes you're taking notes, but you want to make sure you're making eye contact. You're nodding in agreement that you understand. You know, a slight once in a while works, acknowledging, but it's the point in the conversation where you should not be talking. And the things that you're listening for are things that are keying into their emotion. So how does it make them feel when their room is not the way they want it? Is it stopping them from having company? Is it stopping the flow of the family, right? Because not everyone can hang out in the same spot. Is the kitchen difficult for them to use? Is the bathroom just like, oh, they don't want to go in there, okay? But what you're listening for is the emotion behind why they want to make the change. Then what you want to do is make sure you go, oh, okay, like how come now, right? What is it about now that makes this important to you and not maybe in the past or not in the future? That is the step where you're going to find out what is, oh, Fred's coming back, what is happening now in their life. Is it something where their spouse is finally letting them spend money? Do they have a bar mitzvah coming up? Fred, can we hear you?
I hope so.
Yay! Okay, everybody,
Better late than never.
Give us some applause. Yay! I actually started on my first strategy, so we might have to flip a little bit so that we made good use of people's time. Okay, let me know, guys, that you can hear Fred. Yay! Okay, can you see the chat, Fred?
I can. It took a while. It took a while, but better late than never.
You know what? This happens when you're doing live. So we currently have about 80 people in here watching us, and we had over 180 people sign up. So you can start welcoming some people so they can hear your voice a little bit.
Well, thank you for your patience, everyone. And technology can sometimes you win with technology, and sometimes technology beats you. And I think
absolutely. It's definitely a love-hate relationship. So I'm just going to finish with my first tip, and then I'm going to, and I kind of introduced myself, so we're good. Okay. So I'm talking about how not understanding the flow of the sales conversation is a real no-no for the interior designers. And it may be when they first talk to them, or it may be a point where they're introducing a new service that they can do while they're in the home, or something the client has mentioned once they're there. I'm talking them through how the first step is listening and discovering what the issue is in their eyes, and not talking, right? I find
not talking at all.
Not talking, right? Writing some notes, nodding, things like that. I'm afraid. Okay, Michael says you might want to increase your volume. So I'm going to do that for me too, but I don't know if he's talking about just you. Okay. And then you want to kind of discover the why now. Why are they looking to do this work now? Is it because they finally have the money to do it? A spouse has finally agreed to do it? Is it that they have a bar mitzvah coming up, or a wedding, or a graduation? Because knowing their why is really important to getting to the emotion as to why they're doing it now, right? And they can key in on that now when the designer goes to the next step of introducing how they can help. Right? Presenting their program, presenting their service. And in this step, and you may disagree with me, I'm not sure, this is the step where I tell the interior designer, don't talk about price yet, right? Discovery, finding out their why, then presenting what you can do for them and using their words back at them, right? It's proven that if you use the words back that somebody's using with you, it helps close the sale.
Speak their language.
Speak their language, absolutely. And then once you say something like, so how does that sound to you? That I can complete this project in your time frame, blah, 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 right? You're repeating everything back to them using their language. They say, if you've done it right, they're going to say, my God, that sounds great. And they're going to, okay, so let me present the details so we can get started. And that's when you present the price. So that was my first tip. Learning, I want everyone to understand the flow of the sales conversation and really practice it, and that will tremendously help them close their sales. So let me introduce you for a minute so you can go to your first tip, and hopefully we won't get confused. So for you guys, thank you for being so patient. Fred BERNS is the only interior design industry business coach and speaker who creates personal bios and other promotional material for the design professionals worldwide. As one of the biggest names in the business of interior design, he speaks at design conferences throughout the United States and around the world. He has more than 30 years of experience training design professionals from Dallas to Dubai, which made me jealous, and creating their online profiles, their websites, and social media copy, blogs, and marketing forms of all kinds. So welcome officially, Fred. I'm so glad you made it.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello again, belatedly, to all of our listeners. And my first blunder is leaving money on the table. I believe that the biggest challenge facing interior design professionals today is they leave money on the table. There's way too many one and done projects in our industry, and I think that's a real issue. Now, that happens when you don't tell all that you do. And for instance, your service list on your website and in your social media, you don't share with your clients all that you do. And consequently, you don't get as much business as you could or you should from a client. You don't ask enough questions sometimes. If in fact you are not getting the kind of repeat business you like, you're not asking enough questions. In the initial walkthrough in a consultation, $1 million question is, how's the kitchen working for you? Now, Nancy, you know, and I know that people are never satisfied with their kitchens. And by asking that kind of pain question, you will generate a lot of interest. And I think an important part of this is for design professionals to play as if they're billiards players, to play billiards. You know, if you're a professional billiards player, you're always setting up the next shot. You're always getting ready for the next shot. And in design, it's the same thing. You're discussing phase 2 before you've even finished phase 1. You're asking about the branch offices before you've finished working on the first, the general office you're working on. You're talking about the vacation home in the process of doing the first home. It's setting up the next shot. And what this really boils down to is spending a lot more time looking through your microscope than through your binoculars. 99% of the designers I've worked over the years, they have the microscope, binoculars, and looking way out there for all these new prospects, trying to find new clients, when in fact your best clients are, without question, your current clients. Peter Drucker, the management consultant, said you have a 1 in 14 chance of selling something to a prospect, but a 1 in 2 chance of selling something to a current client, because they know you and they like you, and it makes a lot more sense to pursue them. The long-term value of each client is 100 times the value of a single transaction. So there's a long-term benefit to working with clients over time. It costs 5 times more to attract new clients as opposed to retaining the current ones. So all in all, your best clients are your current clients, and do not leave money on the table, and make sure that your clients are aware of all that you do when you ask the right questions. Nancy?
Love that one. And you're so right. And I kind of, my next one is kind of feeding into that, because having no or incomplete social media is my next blunder, because what you just said about having your existing clients and people who already like and know you have no way of being reminded that you're there if you're not keeping up on your social media and your correspondence with them, right? So many interior designers don't have a social media business page, and if they do, they don't do any Facebook page, and they don't do anything with it.
Quick question, Nancy, what percentage of designers use social media, do you think?
Oh, I don't know the exact percentage, but from my experience, I'd say 75% of them have social media business pages, but they don't do anything with them.
Just leave them there. Okay.
They just leave them. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a local Facebook training for some local interior designers to explain to them the benefit of posting on their social media. Right. And what happens is a lot of people go, I post and nobody looks and nobody likes and nobody comments and nobody shares, so I don't think it's valuable. They'll also kind of get their feelings hurt, right? And there's got to be no ego in this, right? You want to make sure what happens in this day and age, especially with the millennials, if they look someone up, they're going right to Facebook and they're looking up if they can track this person down, right? You've got to be sure that if they've got your name, which for interior designers, that's really, your name is everything, right? So they have your name. Now they go to social media. They may find your personal page, but you've never linked your business page to your personal page. And when they want to kind of look at jobs you've done, see if you communicate, see what you communicate, to see if they can start feeling your personality. And now they go there and there's nothing. It's a real problem, because they're going to go right on to the next one they might be looking at and go, well, let me see what their Facebook page says. Right? So I don't agree with having every social media under the sun out there, right? You can have, it's ridiculous, right? You could have a Pinterest, a LinkedIn, a Facebook, a Periscope, an Instagram, right? It's endless. So what I always tell my clients is pick 2 or 3, right? Have a house.
Pick 2 or 3.
Pick 2 or 3. Have a house, have a Facebook, and then pick your third one, the one that you fit matches your personality. And post consistently, 2 or 3 times a week, just because if someone's looking you up, and obviously there are strategies to grow your Facebook business page, that's another whole discussion, and how perfect Facebook Live is to kind of promote and how to get more followers, but that's another discussion. Hands down, you should at least have it. You should have it, you should post consistently so that people, when they look you up, you have something there for them to cling to and know you. So that's my next tip.
Well, my second blunder kind of plays off of that, Nancy, because you're spot on. You're 100% right when you say social media is so important. But let's not forget websites. It's easy to overlook websites because that's kind of old school. It is still the number one online presence. It's your business card. It's extremely important. It's how people look you up. And I would say that the blunder that so many designers make is that they have wimpy websites.
Wimpy websites, love it.
Nothing is worse than a wimpy website. And the problem is that there are some designers who are doing well at this. They're making huge money. They're making big money from websites that are very effective, but the vast majority of designer websites are not very effective. And the problem is that not in the images, because there's a lot of nice images. Every decent designer has decent images on his or her website these days. It's the content where they really are falling down. It's not compelling. It's not concise. It's not clear. And the problem is we have a very small window of opportunity. The average visit to a website, Nancy, the average visit is 4 seconds and 2 clicks. Now, that's not a lot of time. So you have to knock their socks off in a short amount of time, and it begins with the homepage. Your homepage, 50% of the people who visit your homepage will never get beyond it. So the homepage has to really rock. So just some guidelines for an effective homepage would be to have a call to action. I like what I see. I like your portfolio. It all looks good to me. But now I need you to take me by the hand and tell me exactly what my next step is. Well, what do you want me? Should I download this? Should I check out this YouTube video? Should I call for consultation? What is it I'm supposed to do? I'd like to see a bio, because first, at least a brief commercial or a concise bio, a 2-line bio, and give me the opportunity to read more inside. So show me your image and show me a 2-line bio on your website, because first and foremost, you're selling yourself. That's the most important sale of all. I'd like to see an overview of your services on your webpage. The fact that you offer everything from space planning to project management to kitchen and bath design to color consultation. Read more. Again, you're giving me the chance to go inside and read the whole thing. So that's a very good element. Benefits, bulleted benefits. Do you save me time? Do you save me money? Do you save me stress? These are the kinds of things I like to see on your website.
I love that.
So those are really important things. And one last element on your website, on your homepage, that is a branding phrase. Are you the California's only design firm that offers home staging services? Are you Pittsburgh's only design firm that does exterior landscaping as well? Something on top there that gives me an overview of what you do and who you are is extremely important. And by the way, one of the things I'm offering, and just kind of give a sneak peek of the freebie that I'm offering, is a website once-over, a 30-minute session that is complimentary to those who sign up at the end of this program. So we can kind of walk through the various elements and talk about how to add some wow to your website is something which I can help.
I like that. Is it something you recommend? Because I always recommend that they have something on their website that's definitely downloadable so that they can get that person's first name and email address. Is that something you...
A free report would be great. A Q&A box, question and answer search box is very helpful. I love to see a blog on a homepage, Nancy, because that kind of gives me the idea that if I go back to this website in a week or 2 weeks, I'll have some fresh information. So all of these are good steps to engage your visitors and see if you can turn some of those visitors into clients.
Yeah, I love everything you said. I know I put the title of my blogs, a little, maybe 6 of them on the bottom of my website, but I learned that if you just give a paragraph or 2, that they can then click and find out more, just like you're saying. It also helps with your search engine optimization.
Right, and think of your homepage as the appetizer of the main course. You're just whetting their appetite. You're giving a couple lines about who you are, and then they can read more. You're giving a couple lines about the services you offer, just to kind of give them an introduction to you that will compel them to want to get more information in the website. Yeah,
I think it's great. Which this kind of goes into yours, but I think everything runs into everything, right? So my next business blunder is not investing in yourself to learn proper business structure, right? And I think I might have switched that from last time I talked to you, Fred, because I realized that when I do a lot of presentations at interior design schools, and interior design schools do give some business classes, but they don't, right, not a lot. And these people are coming out of interior design school, and it's kind of like in the beginning of a business, you're kind of like excited, you're telling everybody and you're getting business, right? Now you hit year 2 and you're kind of like, okay, got some business last year. It was so great. It was exciting. And now I don't know where my next dollar's coming from. So now let me try all these new things. But they've never actually built the business structure, right? And your website goes into that. But understanding your business plan, and I don't mean official business plan that you're going out and getting a loan for, but understanding your 3-year vision, your 1-year goals, and going down to 90-day plan, and then how does that translate into what you do weekly? And then understanding your ideal client, really laying it out to where you know where they hang out, right? So you know where to go. When I own Expressive Living Art and Accessories, and in the beginning I thought, where is my ideal client? And one day an interior designer walked into a home art party that I was having. At that time, when I first went into business, I was just sticky tacking art to the walls, and it was my mother's art, no less, right? And people would come and buy. Then an interior designer walked in one day, and she was like, oh my God, this is the perfect art for my client. And can you bring it to the house? I'm like, yes. Can you help us frame it? Sure. And next thing I knew, my ideal client formulated into and interior designers are my best clientele. So now where do interior designers hang out? Oh, I found the Interior Design Society. They have a local chapter, right? So I joined and I got involved. So when you start laying out, and the point of me telling you that story is when you start laying out where your ideal client actually hangs out, who they are, you can then create a life that puts you into the middle of where they hang out, not only online, but in person. So these are just 2 of the business building steps, right, that I could go on and on about that are not necessarily taught in interior design school. And I think it's important that people invest in themselves in time, and sometimes money, to learn their business basics and to kind of bulletproof their business from having all those ups and downs.
Right.
So, you're next?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who do you suppose are the highest paid salaried professionals in America, other than professional athletes? Who are the highest paid professional, salaried professionals?
Salaried. I was thinking financial advisors, but they're not salaried. I don't know the answer. Tell me.
The answer is physicians and surgeons.
Okay.
And, physicians and surgeons are the highest paid because they're in the pain business, and people will pay any price whatsoever to get their pain fixed.
Correct.
And I think, my third blunder is the fact that not enough designers are in the pain business. They don't really spend enough time trying to find out what hurts.
Absolutely.
And so probing for pain and promoting yourself as a caregiver is really critical. You know, so many designers, I speak around the country as you do, and so many designers I think I have met would rather swallow formaldehyde. They'd rather crawl on hands and knees on the highway than face price objections, because they feel as if price objections kill the deal.
Correct.
The reality of the situation is that price objections are a buying signal, and that, in fact, people have to be at least somewhat interested in your services to even ask about price. But there's a lot of other pains on the minds of your customers, of your clients, other than price. I mean, when you think about it, they don't have the time to remodel their homes. They don't have the resources. They don't have the knowledge. They don't even know where to begin the project. There's a lot of stress that you need to be asking questions about. And basically, you talked about the idea of really listening to your clients and how important that is.
Yes.
A very big part of this process is really asking what hurts and finding out exactly what the issues are other than price. And then toward the end, when you're closing in the process, you're basically saying, so how committed are you to changing this? How committed are you to overcoming these challenges you talked about? And
Yes.
in fact, it makes them realize they're very committed to it. And then when you're actually presenting your price, you're saying, and there's some price resistance, you're basically saying, so what would it cost you, Nancy, not to invest in my services? What would it cost you not to fix this? And they realize that, in fact, there's a lot of costs associated with the stress and the time and all the aggravation for not getting their design the way they want to. So not playing the part of the doctor and presenting yourself as the caregiver is the blunder that I'm talking about here. And the quick fix here is to really start asking pain questions, asking what hurts. As our good friend Dr. Phil always says, how's that working for you? When they're talking, when these people on the show are talking about all their issues about that they're facing. but you're asking the right questions, and you're finding that when you get the pain conversation going, presenting yourself as the caregiver is extremely effective strategy.
It's so effective, and that is part of the whole sales conversation of finding out their why, and I think it's great advice. It's almost like you're an interior design coach, right? You're getting down to their
that's a great way.
Discomfort.
You're not just an interior designer, you're an interior consultant. You're an interior coach. You're there to solve their problems. I mean, if you present yourself in that way, then you differentiate yourself from all the gazillion others who call themselves designers or decorators or stagers or kitchen and bath professionals. You're a problem solver. And you specialize in solving the issues that most affect the high-end clients that you work with, and the design.
I agree. And I find that if something is a price issue for a client, it's often that the designer has to go back to exactly what you're saying. Go back to the client's pain points and have you really addressed them in your presentation. Have you addressed their pain, or have you just told all your great ideas, right? And a lot of times listen, they're creatives, right? And creatives have incredible amount of information up here, and they want to share their great ideas, right? But sometimes they have to hold back their great ideas and give the vision, like you're saying, and be the doctor.
And if I'm a client, I don't care about your ideas. I care about my pain. I care about the issues which are keeping me up at night, worrying about designing my interiors, worrying about the remodel, worrying about designing my office space. And that's what I want you as the designer to address. And then it doesn't matter what you charge. If you can fix my pain, I'm in, baby. I'm in.
Right. And they're learning to like you, know, and trust you. So I think somebody asked along the way, although we'll do questions at the end, somebody asked along the way, they have trouble figuring out how many of their ideas they should give away before they're actually getting paid. And I think what you and I are both saying is give them the grand idea and how much it's going to help take away their discomfort with the way they're living and what their dream of the vision is. And you're not necessarily giving away any really specific ideas until you have.
You want to be of value. You want to give some answers, but you don't want to give away the story. You want to whet their appetite, certainly, and let them know that you are someone who can help them in the larger scheme of things. But I think that if you ask the right questions and you provide adequate information up front, they'll want to continue with you on the long-term basis.
Okay, good. Love that. Okay, I can't believe I'm up to my 4th tip already, right?
Number 4.
Because I started ahead of you now and I've messed up my brain. Okay, so my 4th tip, it comes from feeling all the time about how overwhelmed business owners are. So my 4th tip is, if your blunder is not creating successful systems for yourself.
Systems, yeah.
Systems are so important. Somebody did register that the webinar was frozen, so I don't know if that's the case for everyone. I just want to check in with everyone. Is everyone still hearing us? Okay, while I'm waiting for you guys to respond to that, because there is a little bit of a delay. When I talk about success systems, I'm talking about setting up a calendar for yourself that works, right? Somewhere, okay, good. We're still going. People are starting to respond. Yay. I was going to say, computer glitch number 2 in one webinar would really send me over the edge, but we're good. So successful systems. So this is what I mean. I want you to look at your calendar at the beginning of the week and say, okay, when do I have client appointments set? Let me block them out, and block them out knowing truly how long it's going to take, including your ride there and your ride back, or if you're on the phone. Then, I have a continuing education seminar, let me put that. And then there's a networking event, let me put that. Now look at your calendar and block out time where you're actually going to work on your business, not just in your business, right? This is a big one. A successful system of managing your time. In this system, you can also then create a system that works for posting on your social media, keeping that to a limited amount of time where you plan 3 posts a week or 2 posts a week, and you can actually sit for an hour and schedule it, right? Because you can schedule now on something like Facebook. Or you can set up an email to send to your list, right? So setting up a system takes away that anxiety. Like, oh my God, I have so much to do this week. When am I going to fit it all in? I literally have my personal and my business in one calendar, right? I know I'm a little crazy, but I know when I'm doing laundry, when I'm doing dishes, when I'm marketing for my business, when I'm talking to my virtual assistants. And I think having a successful system that works for you when it comes to managing your time is key. And there's a point where you're going to realize you need to have a successful assistant at times to grow yourself to the next level in order to accomplish everything you want to accomplish.
Can't go it alone, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, I get that question a lot. How do I know when it's time to hire someone? If you're asking that question, then it's probably time.
It may be too late.
Yeah, and that time that person takes away from your schedule, because you're going to set them up with a successful system, right? You're going to say, this is what I want you to do in the hours. Yep. So that you know they're maximizing their time and that job is now off of your plate. And now you're like, okay, now what can I do? So this way, listen, everyone deserves to have a life and a successful business, and creating those success systems within your business stops the overthinking. Like, well, what should I do this time? What should I do this time? Sit down, plan it, put it on your calendar. So this way you always know where to find it and you follow the system.
Love it. Great idea.
Okay, your last one.
I've saved the worst for last or the best for last. I'm not sure. Blunder number 4 for me is the failure of most designers to differentiate themselves and to sell themselves. So this morning, Nancy, I Googled interior designers in Denver. I just happened to go online, interior designers Denver. How many listings do you suppose I found when I Googled interior designers Denver, Colorado?
I mean, I would have thought you'd have, 8, 9, 10 pages deep. Just keep going.
Well, to put a number on it, 22 million listings came up when I Googled.
Just in Denver?
In Denver. Interior designer, Denver.
How many pages deep did that go?
Many pages. I didn't check all the pages. Okay. The point is, it's never been easier to get elsewhere the design services you sell and the design products you sell. And it's too bad, but that's reality. So it's extremely important, more important than ever before, to sell yourself in a way that really sets you out, that really distinguishes you. First and foremost, you're not selling fabrics, and first and foremost, you're not selling futons or floor coverings. First and foremost, you are selling yourself. And I've been coaching and writing promotional copy for design professionals and speaking to design professionals for more than 30 years. The most successful design professionals I've met, the most financially successful design professionals, are not necessarily the best design professionals. They don't necessarily have the most awards. They haven't been published the most places. They don't have the most certifications or degrees. The most financially successful design professionals I have met over the years are simply the best self-promoter, the best personal salesmen, and the best personal saleswomen. And maybe that's not right. And maybe that's not fair, but that's fact. Yeah. So what we're talking about is really understanding the power of the personal sale and realizing the importance of selling yourself. And there's a couple of tools I want to share with the group here today to really help you nail that sale. First of all, there's the word, the $1 million word, the one word that with which you can make an instant impact and with which you can make yourself memorable. And that word is only. Only. Are you the only design professional in your area who carries a certain product line? Are you the only design professional in your area who specializes in a certain client niche? Are you the only design professional in your area who offers a certain type of service? Tell me what only you do, and I will buy only from you. So that's the $1 million word. And now the $1 million tool. And the $1 million tool, the absolute best way to promote yourself is to have a killer bio, an online personal promotion profile that really spells out your specialness, that establishes your expertise, that creates your credibility to the point where people really get it. The problem is the vast majority of designer bios are more of a hindrance than a help. I think they block rather than boost the designer. They disqualify rather than qualify them for the kind of projects and clients they want. So this should be a top priority in everyone's marketing to-do list, is to either revise their bio so it's really powerful, or hire a professional to do it for you, because it is critical to have a bio. This is your best self-promotion tool. It's critical to have a bio that really says how special you are. This is your brag sheet. And one of my special offers following this program is I'm offering a bio briefing a 30-minute complimentary session. Anyone who's a little unsure about their bio, they like to tweak their bio or revise their bio in a way so it's a lot more powerful in its presentation. And that's something I'm offering, a 30-minute bio briefing.
I love that, Fred. Let me ask you this. In recent years, there's been a lot of talk about it, and I'm kind of in this school of thought. Even on the bio page, I want to make sure that people are talking to the pain points of their clients, that it's still a little bit about the client.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then it's, well, then how does this person, this great one, the only one that can satisfy these issues?
I like language such as so-and-so specializes in helping clients update and upgrade their space, or specialize in saving them time, saving them money, saving them headaches, really talking about the benefits they offer. That's a really important wording. And one other great element of a good bio, I think, Nancy, is to have is to use your testimonials in the body of your bio, and give some third-party endorsements. You know, a lot of our listeners today have house sites, and they have a lot of great testimonials. Talk about the fact that clients use words like gifted and talented and creative to describe you in your bio. You know, use their words in your bio to give more credibility to your expertise.
Yeah, it's a great place to start figuring out what people liked about you and what made you their best designer ever by using their words. I love that. So, okay, we actually went longer than I thought, which I'm glad, because I think we shared a lot of great information. I want to offer everyone the opportunity to ask questions while I also go over what I'm offering for free. So what I do every day is I help people bulletproof their businesses and make sure they have all what I call the puzzle pieces together for their business structure to make sure that they don't go through all these ups and downs. Help them decide on their marketing method and their social media and their ideal client profile, as well as their goals for the future and their strategies for the current, present, and to make 90-day goals. So I'm offering a 20-minute strategy session so I can help you figure out where in your business you need to work, what you need to work on in the next 90 days, right? And believe it or not, in 20 minutes, I can get to the bottom of a lot, all right, by asking some key questions. So Caden is putting in the chat information about how you can get the free success strategy call with me and the free bio briefing with Fred. And so we'll give you some time to write that information down. I don't know if it's active as a link right now, but I know that.
I want to add to my offer, Nancy, if I could. In addition to the bio briefing, I'm offering a complimentary website once over again for those people who feel like their websites lack compelling content and would like to tweak it. And I'd be happy to give you my 21-point checklist. So either a bio briefing or a website once over are the complimentary 30-minute sessions I'm offering. I'm happy to offer either one to anyone.
Love it, love it, love it. And Fred, why don't you tell them, I'm going to tell them how they can find me. And it's my website, nancyganzacoffer.com. And you can see how that's spelled on the side for those of you who don't know me. I actually have a lot of free content on my website. You can download a time analysis worksheet and other interviews that I've done with other people in the past on how they grew successful businesses. Great free content up there. So I want you to hop on there as well and grab some of that. And then, thank you, Caden, put my website in there. And then you can also schedule from there your 20-minute free success strategy call, which always ends up being longer somehow, but I'm happy to do it. So Fred, your website is also now in there. So why don't you talk a little bit about what's on your website?
You can find me at interiordesignbusiness.net. And if you are interested in sales and marketing tips that will really boost your business, I suggest you hang out there often at interiordesignbusiness.net. I am reachable at Fred at fredberns.com. And my last name spelling, Nancy, as is the case with you, my last name spelling is a little tricky. It's BERNS, so it's Fred at FREDBERNS.com. I can be reached by phone at 303-589-3013, as you'll see in the chat box as well. And again, the two services I offer initially, I do a lot of copywriting for designers. I do websites. I do a lot of promotional bios and blog writing and all the rest. But the first step is often the bio briefing, which is a 30-minute session, which I'm offering on a complimentary basis here. And also the website once over, a 30-minute check of your website, and so we can talk about how to make it much more compelling as well. So those are the two services that I'm offering today to our visitors, listeners, participants.
Yeah, you know what? This is completely free stuff for you guys. So it really makes sense. I mean, when you talk to Fred or I, you're getting real value, right? So we're going to get on the phone and actually work with you, and it's going to be a true coaching call in whatever area that Fred is offering and whatever area I have identified. What I basically go over with you, and I'm going to hold it up quickly, is, I have a puzzle pieces, right? So we're going to quickly go over the different puzzle pieces that create a successful base of a business to stop your sales from going up and down, from getting you consistent. And we're going to, laser in on one of them and get you going to the next level. So I just want to look down the chat for a second, Fred, and see if we're addressing everyone. How can I keep my weekly schedule? This is Beth, from getting all messed up from the panic phone calls from clients needing help. Okay, if you don't mind, I'd like to address that one, Fred, because it's interesting that I used to be very similar to that. It's like, oh, there's an odd emergency, right? And I had to go and run all the time. And when I changed my mindset to say, sometimes in interior design, it is different. Sometimes there is an installer there and it is an emergency, which I had to as an art consultant. But when you change your mindset and you actually start coaching the client as to how really urgent this is, you can often control your calendar a lot more than you expect. I think we all go into business like, I have to be completely available all the time, 7 days a week for my clients. But when you flip that switch and you say, I am not available on Sundays, that's my private time, right? I am not available half a day on Fridays. You're going to find it'll take about a month to adjust everyone into that. And then everyone just adjusts their brain into your schedule. And it's not going to lose you any business. It's a really hard adjustment to make. But Beth, I hope that resonates with you because it really, really does work. Fred, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think you said it all. I think that's really well said. You're
Okay.
the scheduling maven, so I think that's great.
Excellent. Okay, Wendy said, I love the doctor and resolver of pain idea and will use that. Most of my first consultation appointments have a follow-up call. And once again, so hard not to continue giving ideas. So yeah, Wendy said in the beginning how she struggles with giving all her ideas right up front.
I think you give some basic information, and then you say, well, a lot of my clients ask questions about how to update and upgrade this now that they're empty nesters and their kids have moved away, and how can they upgrade their space? Well, I have an interior consultation program that I offer, a 60-minute session, and where we cover that and go into great detail. And the investment for that is X. So I think a good strategy, Nancy, is to talk about the fact that I hear that question often. I hear that concern often, and I have a program to address that. And present it that way. Again, give basic information, give value, but don't give away the store, and let them know that if they want to take the next step, that's great. You'd be happy to do so. And this is how I work with my clients. That's another good line. This is how it works. Yeah,
I agree completely. I think that you can present exactly like you said. And it goes back to one of my puzzle pieces is your ladder of services, right? So which service of yours does that client fit into? And presenting that service, right? I can work with you, and I'm not necessarily recommending this, but I'm saying as an example, I can work with you hourly. I can work with you full service. I can work with you with a certain amount of hours, right? When you're in that sales conversation, you're listening to what their needs are, and you're fitting them into the perfect program for them. And you're selling,
find out what the pain is, and
you're selling them. You're selling them like you said. You're the doctor. I can satisfy this pain. I can do, and this is the perfect service for you. And let me tell you about the scope of that service without actually giving them, oh, this is how your window treatment will look, and this is what I would do here and here, right? Maybe give them a taste and then make them want more. right? Somebody asked, Janice asked, do you work with stagers? I do, yes. I work with all creative entrepreneurs. I work with artists, makeup artists, interior designers, anyone who's really kind of that creative mind and they love what they do, but they're struggling with that whole business side of it. That's who I work with. Fred, do you work with stagers?
I have, as of fairly recently, spoke at the recent convention back in January, and have made it a big part of my business now to write promotional copy, bios, and website copy and social media copy for staging professionals. So that's become a major direction of my business at this point.
Okay. All right. Let me run down here. Okay, Darcy's saying, Nancy, what are your top 3 favorite places to suggest to meet or find your ideal client? Darcy, it depends on what you do exactly and who your ideal client is, because I know we don't have just interior designers on here. So definitely hop on the phone with me and we'll talk about just that for your 20 minutes. But I do often, if you're an interior designer, say things like get involved with charitable events, right? High-end charity events. And get involved, get on the committee, right? You want to get to know people. You want to get to people to see your talent, your big heart, how hard you work for the organization. And often when they need something, they're going to think of you. So that's just one tip. Okay, Christine is asking you a question, Fred. Hi, Fred, is that your office? I'd love to give some ideas on giving it a bit of life. No books, no artwork. That doesn't seem to be you. What's going on? Trying to be a doctor. Love that.
Very good observation. We are moving. We're moving next month to a different location here in Colorado. So we have staged this for sale. We just recently sold our house. That is why this place is so empty and barren. Usually there's books, there's inspirational quotes, there's pictures. It's a lot more professional looking than it is now. So if it looks barren, it's that's the point. It should be. It looked barren.
That's awesome. I love it. Thank you, Christine, for that. You gave me my laugh. But yes, you told me a month ago that you were moving, right? So, okay, Ginny, I have a call to take in 3 minutes, so I have to leave. I may be interested in follow-up. Sorry, but I can't stay. Okay, no problem. Millie, what is your opinion of the best fee strategy? I think that's going to take more than a quick phone call, Millie. I think that you should hop on the phone with both Fred and I, and we'll both give you our idea. Do you have any quick answer to that, Fred?
Yes, I do. Charge for all of your time, all of the time.
That's actually a great answer. I might steal that. I'm talking
about from the moment you leave your office to the moment you return, you should be charging for all of it. The most financially successful designer professionals I've worked with over the years, absolutely, they're like lawyers. They charge for all of their time and they charge top dollar. And you know what? They're worth it.
Do you suggest charging from the very first consultation when they're in the house and your only free time is possibly on the phone?
I've heard pros and cons for complimentary consultation versus. I'm more open to the idea of a freebie the first time around because it really is a marketing opportunity. I used to say never give away your time, but I think that first session, as long as you don't give away the store, it's okay to do it on a free basis, on a complimentary basis, as long as you use it as a good as a way to sell yourself, as a way to sell your services, and to ask about the kitchen and ask the kind of pain questions that will lead to a long-term relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I think it also goes back to personality. I have worked with designers who are like, oh no, I am charging the minute I walk in that house. And they have such confidence and they get it, right? So their clientele, their clientele is paying them for it and they don't seem to be losing any business. And other designers just say no, kind of like what you say. And I agree with you. Walk in that first time and it's your opportunity to sell yourself in person, become the doctor, figure out what they need and actually look around and realize how much you can help that person. I think that goes a long way to getting you to that next level.
Short, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. There was one more I wanted to address. Okay, somebody's asking, and then we'll shut down because we have been on, even though you were a little delayed, we are an hour and 3 minutes, so I want to respect everyone's time. Touch on Facebook business page versus Facebook personal page uploading. Okay, so here's my take on that. Facebook absolutely can and will, when they feel like it, shut your personal page down if you are selling from your Facebook personal page. So that's number one. And I have known people that it has happened to. So what I say is it's perfectly fine to be going live at a showroom, at an event, post some great pictures of jobs you've done. I mean, this is your life on your personal page. But when it comes to your business page, you want to also post things like that. You want to invite all your friends from your personal page to your business page. And on your business page is where you want to add value. You want to teach people things, right? You want to show them a new wallpaper that just came out and how it can be used in combination with something else in the house. This is your teaching tool, your Facebook business page. When people start really liking the tips you're giving, and possibly your offers of the month, or a free download, go to my website and get a free download of something that's going to teach you how not to be overwhelmed by your next kitchen redesign project, or whatever free PDF you come up with, that you would put on your business page. So I think they work very much in conjunction. You can grow your personal page following and then ask them to like your business page, and you can use them really nicely in conjunction. So that's my answer to that.
Only one quick thing to add is make sure your business page has your bio on it. Again, your bio is your most important personal selling tool. You may not be able to use the entire bio because a good bio is usually a full page, but at least the top couple of paragraphs can easily and should be an element of your Facebook business page.
Okay. Okay, ooh, we have two more. We are getting a lot of questions here, Fred. Do you want to keep going, or you want to end it and have them email us, or we'll then email them?
I feel kind of guilty because it took me a while to enter the show here, so I'm happy to stick around and take care of any kind of last-minute questions that may come up.
Okay, so Chris is saying, and I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone. If I missed somebody, understand there's a lot coming through. I love that, a lot of interaction. If I missed anybody, please don't hesitate to email Fred or I. So, okay, this one from Chris. Fred, do you have a % of a business gross that we should shoot for, I think is what they meant. A % of business gross. I'm not sure what they mean, except that they're looking at what their net should be.
So what your net profit should be? I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. They just wrote, Fred, do you have a % of business gross that we should shoot for?
I would ask Chris to email me with more information on that question to fred@fredberns.com, because I'm happy to answer. I just don't quite get what.
Okay. Virginia, when I try to upload a link on my business page, the picture doesn't show the picture. I think Caden addressed that. Yeah, so Caden is my rockstar virtual assistant and my son. So he's the computer genius behind this business here. So hopefully that worked for you, Virginia. Grace Ann said, I have to head to a client. Will there be a recording? Yes, which we will. And this was a last minute decision for us, for anyone who has opted into the webinar, and we'll get a replay of this. So we're excited about that. Any opinion on giving the first 30 minutes for free, then leave it open for fee if the call continues? Well, Ian, in your business, I think that's very, very doable, right? So Ian is a web designer, and I have spoken to him, and he has, free 30-minute option. So he's asking if he feels he can continue to ask for, if we continue beyond this 30 minutes, it would cost you this amount of money. And I do think that's a doable thing, but I also think you have to kind of get a feel for that person, right? You don't want to, like the first time I spoke to you, Ian, if I had done that, right, would you have called me again, right? So you want to think about what's your time slot for giving and stick to that. So if your time slot is truly 30 minutes, then at about 20 minutes, you want to start addressing how you could satisfy their further need with your programs. And
I think, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
I was going to say that I think it's important to set the parameters up front, Ian. So this is how the call will work. This is how I work with my clients. We'll do the first 30 minutes on a complimentary basis. Should you have additional questions or want to go to the next phase or dig deeper, then this is the next step in the process.
Yeah, and saying that right up front is a great idea, because then, again, towards the end, we're coming to a close. Towards the end of about 30 minutes, at 20, 25 minutes, you can say, would you like to continue? Would you like to set up another call? And you've already set that tone. So that was great advice, Fred. Okay, Jennifer, do you think it is better to bill hourly, or is a flat fee a better approach, or does it depend on the client or the job?
I think flat fee is the #1 interior design industry career killer. I've never.
Oh my God, I agree with you.
So many designers I know who are talented and skilled in so many ways are now out of business because they stuck to flat fee. Even a so-called small project can turn into a monster. You know it, and I know it. I think I still believe in the idea of being compensated for all of your time, all of the time. That's my philosophy. And again, I think of the most successful designers I'm coaching right now, and they, at least part of the equation, certainly if you ask 50 designers, you get 50 different permutations on how they charge. But the common denominator for success is at least part of the fee equation is charging hourly, charging for your time. What do you think, Nancy?
I think that, a lot of the designers are charging, and Wendy weighed in here, and she's a local designer to here. So a lot of the designers here charge a flat fee, and then they charge a % over purchases, right? And that seems to be very common here on Long Island. I think the problem is when some designers go to charging for their time, and they know themselves, and I've run into this. I've had designers who are just really friendly and chatty, and they know that if they start charging for their time, the client could start going, okay, wait, am I being charged for my time? We're sitting here talking about our dogs, right? And they get worried. And in this day and age of texting and email, and can you tell me if I should buy this? And can you tell me if I should buy that? There absolutely has to be a component in there for being compensated for your time, because I think that the clients take advantage, right? Now I know I have you in my back pocket. I'm going to go shopping and send you 15 emails of which one do you think works best, right? So now if they start to switch to shopping on their own and there's not an hourly component in there, I think that's when the designer starts getting resentful and it starts to change the dynamic.
Good point. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if there's anyone else. Oh my, okay. Wendy, also important to have relationships with our sources, can't be on the clock. Yes, maintaining your relationships with your sources are very key, and no, you cannot be on the clock for that. That's part about working on your business rather than in your business. Right. Jennifer says, thank you. Client won't talk enough if it's, right, the clients won't talk that much if it's hourly, but you still might. So it's really knowing yourself. And when I work with a client, I really say, what are you comfortable with? Let's optimize your time and optimize your money. Because some designers are really quick designers, others are the creative process is different. So it depends on a lot of their personality too. And I call myself your business partner, because I like to partner with people and go, okay, what is your personality? How does that work for you? Let's make you some money, right?
Right.
Okay, I think that's pretty much most of the questions. Again, I apologize if we have missed anybody. I'm so glad this actually went on the way we expected, Fred. Thank you so much. I hope everyone grabs the links to our free offers that are here, and you'll also be getting an email that gives you a link to the free offers as well. So I'm going to say thank you, Fred, and goodbye to everyone. It was such an interactive group, which is so fun to have on something like this.
This was a hoot. Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome. Okay, I will talk to you soon, and bye, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.